Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Surendra. I am faculty in the Department of Chemical Engineering. Today I am going to show how to operate a UV visible spectroscopy meter we have recently procured here. And I am going to demonstrate today there are two modes. One is scan mode and second is quant mode. In scan mode, we are going to find what are the different wavelengths, absorbance of your particular material. And in quant mode, we are going to calibrate our samples. And this is the instrument, UV visible spectrophotometer, and it is a thermo-scientific make. And we have the model of the Evolution 201. And the importance of this meter is it operates under dual beam. Okay, here we always keep our reference sample. You can see the quartz cuvette is placed inside the chamber, which is acting as a reference, and this is our sample chamber where we going to keep the sample we wish to measure here. So this is what the continuously operates under the dual mode. Start. Yeah, come here, and I'm going to show you. You can see we have loaded, this quartz and the cuvette with the water, which is acting as a reference. We are keeping it placed here. Okay, yeah, you can see I have placed the reference cuvette in the chamber, and this is the sample cuvette, and make sure you are holding the cuvette on the rough side, not on the plain side. Okay, always you have to handle the cuvette on the rough side. Okay, because now it is also filled up with the reference sample, which is water. I am going to place in the sample chamber. Yeah, and slowly you have to close the machine. You can see you have to push this button, and simply you have to close it. The important thing we have to take care is because the button that was given, you have to push this and you have to open slowly, and you have to close in this way. So while we are opening the system, you have to take utmost care that you should not leave it to slide itself. Only you need to push this, and slowly you have to move in this way, and you have to close in this way. No, you don't have video start here? Sir. Okay. This is the desktop you are going to see, and here this icon, the thermo inside. This is the software we wish to use to measure our samples. Simply need to double click, and we need to give some time. So let the instrument take its own time. The instrument status, it is given here. So once it cross checks everything, so wait for at least 2 minutes or so you can go for the measurement mode. See, as you see on the screen, we have the different modes present here, and it's fixed mode, scan mode, quant mode, rate mode. So for the basic operation, it is simple that we have to concentrate on two modes, which is a scan mode, and second one is the quant mode. Scan mode is used to find the absorbance of your samples, what wavelength that you are seeing the maximum absorbance, and this other mode, which is called quant mode, it is used to calibrate, okay, your sample. That means quantitative analysis is done using quant mode, and the qualitative analysis is done in the scan mode. Now we are going into the scan mode because we wanted to know what is the absorbance of my sample is. So simply I have to click on the scan mode, and everything you can see on the screen remains the same. Only you need to go to the instrument, and you can see the important thing on this particular tab is make sure that you can change the integral time, so that the estimated time for the scan mode is around 120 seconds. See, it is around 103 seconds. It's okay, good. So if you wanted to get more accurate information, you have to reduce this scan speed to 400 or so that accordingly the scan time is going to rise. So right now we are going to have based on this present condition, estimated time for the scan is around 103 seconds. As you can see, the starting wavelength and ending wavelength, it is ranges from UV range, UV range, visible range, all can be done. See the starting wavelength, the range is 190 nanometers to 110, and the bandwidth is around 1 nanometer, so we don't have option to change this. So this is the basic operations. Then you go to the accessories, you won't see anything. Go to the samples, and depending upon the how many samples you have to measure, so you have to click. Let us say we have, for the first scan mode, I have only one sample to see what is my maximum absorbance that is getting from my particular sample. Simple keep one sample, and you can name the sample as because we are going to measure humic acid, and just you have given the sample, and in the peak you can see how many number of peaks you wish to measure. You can see you might get number of peaks. We because based on that how many peaks you wanted to measure, depending upon that you can freeze this. See, maximum number of peaks you can change. You can change to 5, you can change to 10, depending upon the how many number of peaks you wish to measure. So right now I'm just wanted to see 3 maximum peaks in my absorbance range. So accordingly I put 3 here. So I have given the rest everything. You don't need to disturb. Simply you go to this measure tab button. Simply just measure it. Now it will do its analysis. Right now the blank is going to get run. We have already kept the blank sample here in the cuvette, which is water. So I don't need to put again blank sample there. Simply click the OK button. Now it does its range. It takes around 100 to around 103 seconds. So it's going to perform the absorbance in the range of 190 to 110 nanometers. So let us wait to run. Baseline correction, it has done the scanning for the reference sample. Now what we need to do is, now a window has been popped up showing our sample to be placed now. Now what you can show that how to remove the sample. Simply open, remove the sample cuvette, and now you have to fill up with, okay, you need to fill the cuvette with your sample to measure. Okay, generally it is good practice to rinse the cuvette with the sample you are going to measure. So rinsing is done. Now Sapna is a student and she is going to place see these things, try to remove solid particles, try to avoid the solid particles there. That is from inside. I think you need to throw the,
no, it's not.
Yeah, fine. Okay, keep the things in the proper way. And now if you you have to close the door and see, now we have placed our sample in the sample chamber. Simply you need to continue. Now it is over the range which we have specified, which is around 190 to 110 nanometer. It is doing its range. Also after this it is going to show us the top 3 maximum absorbance peaks. Start. Okay, now the scanning range is done. On the right side we have seen the 3 peaks of maximum absorbance. One is around 289.9, the second one is 202, and the third one is 236. And this is the top 3 absorbance peaks. And now you have to look up to the literature and what are those peaks concerned to what kind of chemical structure, and based on that you need to freeze that particular wavelength, and for that wavelength you need to run the calibration using quantum mode. Right now humic acid, it is close to around 289 nanometer. So I am fixing this in my quant mode because it is showing the maximum absorbance around 5.3. So next time when you people do this, then make sure the maximum absorbances should be less than 5. Okay, now all the absorbance values you are seeing, it is more than 5, which is not recommended. If you are finding any absorbance which is greater than the 5, you have to dilute your sample and make sure it comes to below 5. So that is the standard, because above 5, that means the instrument is already reaching to its saturated, peak position absorbance. So you won't get a good calibration, because you don't get a good R square value when you do the calibration. So make sure next time when you people do this, and try to see that the maximum absorbance should be less than 5.
Started.
Okay, this is the absorbance. So if you wanted to get this report, simply go to the reports tab here, and simply need to export
CSV.
before you can before the simply you need to have, because we have number of file types available here, simply .csv, which can be easily opened in the Excel. Simply name it, go to the relevant location, and simply demo 1, whatever it may be, demo 1, simply you need to save it. Okay, this is how you're going to save it. And if you want to take it as a PDF, simply save it as a PDF, simply print, and it is going to have option
Print to PDF.
Okay, if you wanted to save it as a PDF, simply you need to go for the print, and Microsoft Print to PDF, click print, go to the relevant location, and example relevant locations, and documents, demo 2. Okay, now it is saved, and simply you need to go to the location and find out what was given in the PDF document. So this is how now we have done with the scan mode. Now I know around 280 nanometers. I have found out the maximum absorbance. Now I have to calibrate for the quantitative analysis. Simply you need to go to the home, and we have the quant mode here. Simply you need to click the quant mode, and you need to click the standard curve. Here you are going to see here, you need to click the standard, is already clicked by default, and go to the measurement, and here I need to freeze what are the maximum absorbance I got, around 280. This is the absorbance which I have received from my scan mode. And here you can fix what is the units. Normally we keep the units of ppm, milligram per liter, we have freezed it. So simply it's the sample which we are putting inside is humic acid, which is around 100 ppm, that is by the component name, say 100 ppm, just for the namesake. And you go to the instrument, see here, absorbance, we are measuring, we can absorbance, reflectance, transmittance, different modes are there, and absorbance mode is fine. And here you see it's a 280 nanometer, whatever we have given as an input, which is my wavelength number. And simply go to the, because it's a fixed mode and the scan mode is, both modes are there, you go to the fixed mode, because you already know what is your absorbance, so you don't need to worry about the scan it again. So go to the fixed mode, go to the accessories, if that is standards. So you need to give the standard, because we already preloaded the things, because minimum you need to provide the 3 calibration samples. We have the 5 calibration samples right now with us. You can see the 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. These are the 5 calibration samples we have made. So accordingly I have inputted here the 20, 40, 60, because if you have the 3 calibration samples, and you don't need to give 4 and 5 steps here. So we have here, and simply we have to go samples, how many samples you wish to measure, because I have given 2 sample names, humic acid, because these unknown samples. Based on the calibration, I wanted to measure this unknown sample concentration, and unknown 1, sample unknown 2. Okay, these are the wish to measure. Now I have to give total 5 calibration samples and 2 unknown samples which I wanted to measure. So simply go to the measure mode. It will ask you to took the blank first. So earlier we have, during the scan mode, we have you removed it? No. Now see, now she is going to open the window. This is the sample done during the scan mode, we have to throw it, and we have to keep blank, which is pure water here. Now she is keeping the blank. Okay, now we have to click OK. Okay, now the blank is done. Now we have to put all the humic acid samples, I mean different caliber. One is 20 ppm, 40. Now it is asking us to put 20 ppm sample now. Now she is going to load 20 ppm. Now you have to simply continue. Now it is asking us to put 40 ppm sample. Like that, you have to continue to do all the 5 calibration samples: 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100. So because we were given 5 calibration samples, so once this procedure is done, the standard curve will be ready.
Okay, done.
Now we have done our calibration. So you can see all the calibration chart was prepared and the equation was given. Again, 0.53c, it has having the R square value of 0.954, which is, I mean, good. And now once the calibration is done, quantification is done, now you have to run your unknown samples. See, to run the unknown samples, you need to just go to the measure. Now it is asking what is the first unknown sample. So now we are putting the unknown sample and we have to just click continue there. We have kept our unknown sample. Now I have to simply press the continue. Okay. Now it is asking us to put what is your second unknown sample. So we are going to open the things and put our unknown sample and place the cuvette in the measuring position. Now, okay. Now we have placed our second unknown sample. We have to click OK. Now you can see here the unknown sample 1 has got the absorbance value. I mean, it's a concentration of 48 ppm, and second unknown sample we have the concentration of 76 ppm. Now our quantification is done, and now simply if you wanted to get a report out of it, simply you go to the reports and you need to give export, and simply you have to show the what kind of file format you wish to do, that is .csv and and what kind of report you are going to get depending upon the, see, you have to reportable data here. You can see all the sample name will be there, ID, username, date and time, humic acid, all the details will be you are going to get. So if you want to get a PDF out of it, simple, you need to press the print button, go to print PDF and simply print desktop. Okay. So how it looks like, let us see.
One.
Yeah. See, this is how it, it is given the absorbance value. You can see the unknown one have got a concentration of 48 ppm, and you can save it. You can, you can take the data in the PDF format, and the other formats you want, simply you need to export.
No.
Right, UV documents, Dr. Surendra, quant 1, fine. Now quant, you can see this Excel file. This is how the data will be given in the Excel file. You can see 48 concentration, 76 concentration is there. So this is how you have to operate the system, and this is how you have to turn the things off. Simply once the things, everything is done, you need to simply close. Yes.
No.
If before that, if you wanted to save this particular method, and simply need to give the method name, because you are going to run the same thing again and again. So simply your, what are the calibration samples, that means 5 calibration samples, always you have to bring it with you for you to run the same system again. Okay, method, okay, save, yes, okay, so then you go to, that's it. This is how okay, I hope we have went through this demo. Next time who are maybe using this, better you watch this video before you operate the system. Only thing, cautious thing you need to, because we have the quads to it here, it's costing around maybe 30,000, and make sure you should not drop it. And this is how I hope this session is informative. And this is Surendra, thank you very much.